Good afternoon, I'm Belinda De Lasheras with Hunter News. Four-wheel drive enthusiasts using Redhead Beach could soon be forced to purchase a yearly pass for access in a bid to reduce reckless behaviour along the dunes. The Belmont Wetlands Board will meet with Crown Lands to discuss a proposed $55 year-long and $22 weekend pass for clearance in the area. President of Port Hunter 4x4 Club Bob Cruikshank says hoons should be barred from the beach.
A lot of the people, when they couldn't camp at Stockton, they moved to Redhead, and the same sort of thing has been happening there. It's basically the hoon element, and they need to be stamped out of the beaches and the bush.
Meanwhile, beachgoers at Redhead and Merriweather are being advised to steer clear of the area, with both beaches closed due to dangerous conditions. Lifeguards are monitoring the situation and will continue to release updates as conditions change. Beaches at Blacksmiths Caves and Catherine Hill Bay remain open. The Health Services Union has slammed the Baird government's bid to privatise the Health Department's medical supply distribution service, claiming Newcastle's economy will lose out on up to $2 million. Under the plan, storage and delivery of hospital supplies will be redirected through a central warehouse in Western Sydney, taking the axe to 35 jobs from a chain in Cardiff. HSU New South Wales Secretary Gerard Hayes says they're meeting today to discuss further action.
We will highlight this to the point that if the government is now sold out to big business, we want to make sure that the jobs are kept within the Newcastle area, and we are going to be fighting for this over the next 12 months to ensure that people who work in Newcastle remain in Newcastle.
Southern Lake Macquarie's controversial Wallara 2 coal mine is set to stick around beyond the March election, despite public calls for the project to be blocked. The state government is currently facilitating mediation between Darkinjung Local Aboriginal Land Council and mine owner Wyong Coal about the site's future use. Darkinjung CEO Sean Gordon says the mine poses a threat to council's plans.
If the mine gets up, then it will have an impact on our own plans for our land. Especially residential, proposed residential lots up in that area. So we've got to be wary of and protect our own interests to ensure that it doesn't, that this mine, if it does get up, doesn't jeopardise any opportunities that we have on our lands for the future.
Newcastle Council could be about to witness a rollback of its planned 46.9% rate rise, with new independent Ward 3 by-election candidate Kath Elliott vowing to fight the move. She's calling for a more sustainable rate hike to fund council services and insists Labor and the Greens are ignoring community feedback. Kath Elliott says she'll be running on a platform of moderation.
37.5% looks like a pretty good option. It's in the middle. And after you ask the community to give you an informed and intelligent decision, to ignore that is just outrageous. If you take the rate rise that they're proposing, which is nearly 50%, if somebody's paying $1,500 in their rates now, that's going to mean in the next few years their rates are going to be $2,250.
Now with sport, Georgia Cowan.
Newcastle Jets coach Phil Stubbins is hoping to bolster his squad with as many as 4 new recruits by the end of the week, on the back of a mass player exodus. He'll have until the close of the transfer window on midnight February 2 to tempt contracted players from rival outfits to the club, following the recent departures of Johnny Steele, Marcos Flores and Sam Galloway. Newcastle will also be forced to consider replacements for midfielder Andrew Houle, who'll jet off for Sydney at the end of the season. Meanwhile, there'll be no temporary seating in place at Hunter Stadium, despite growing talk of a potential Asian Cup semi-final between Australia and Japan. AFC officials claim selling tickets for the venue's 2 Grass Hills is at odds with its current seating policy, but are promising fans several thousand additional tickets will be released online later this week. And Newcastle Rugby League powerhouse Kurri Kurri have added Cessnock's Jacob McKendry to a long list of 2015 pre-season recruits as they look to increase depth this season. That's sport. I'm Georgia Cowan.
2NURFM news time is 12:10.